Welcome to another exciting edition of KPUT Sports. Today we join the Iowa baseball team as they match bats against the Northwestern Wombats at Iowa Field. Later on, we'll join Brack Tungsten for a look at this really big planet of sports. But now let's join Tanner Kranzprance and Frosted Winchell as they bring us the action from the field. Hello, Frosted.
Hello, Wendy. It's a lovely day today. There's not a cloud in the sky, and the weather is a pleasant 69 degrees.
Excitement is thick in the air, and the people around me are jubilant in this prelude to summer.
It's the kind of day just made for baseball, that great all-American sport.
Everyone can taste the tang of national pride hovering in the breeze.
What's the field look like today, Frosted?
It's a great field, right, Tanner?
One of the better fields in this sport.
What a field this is. A field of fields.
This is the field, a field light years beyond other fields, a meta field.
We can't actually see the field, but it certainly is a tremendous field.
Are you in the locker rooms with the teams?
The teams. What young men of promise. How ready to play that American game to the best of their ability.
And there is no question of their ability. The power and grace of young hopefuls, the beauty of a fly ball to third, the poetry of tobacco-laden saliva.
You would feel the exhilaration we're feeling, Wendy, if only you could see these teams.
Which we can't.
Because we're not in the locker rooms, but they are great teams, right, Tanner?
The best, Frosted.
Where exactly are you guys?
I can't stress how fortunate we are to have such excellent weather today.
Beautiful weather.
Not a cloud in the sky.
Are you even at Iowa Field?
Almost. We're running a bit late.
But we're close. I can smell the hot dogs.
Sort of close.
Actually, I can smell exhaust. We're somewhere in Coralville.
We think.
Or Solon.
But we'll be arriving at Iowa Field soon, where we'll bring you all the action as it happens.
Until you get there, guys, here's something to fill the airspace.
Burke Salafanger here with another episode of True Life Crisis Tales, where we bring to our radio audience stories of inspiration as real people defy the odds to make the world a safer place. With me today is Lucy Battenbold of Spleen, Georgia.
Hello.
Now, Mrs. Battenbold, before you begin your tale of inspiration and cool-headedness in the face of danger, could you please tell us about yourself?
Well, there's not much to tell. I'm just a domestic housewife.
I believe that, in fact, most housewives are domestic.
Yes, domesticity does come with being at home.
I suppose one could add that many of this nation's domestic citizens live in the country rather than abroad. But I digress. Please, Mrs. Battenbold, tell us your inspirational tale of personal courage.
It all started out as a very ordinary day. My son was playing with his toy cars in the family room, and I was watching my favorite soap opera, The Young and the Interesting. Suddenly, Timmy, my son, began making choking noises.
Oh, dear. What happened?
Well, Carolyn revealed that she was Matt's sister, and Eve left from a burning boat when Kyle's brother Lance started a fire to stop Meredith from telling Kate that she saw Wayne's killer on the night
I'm sorry, Mrs. Battenbold. I meant to ask what you did when you saw brave little Timmy, your son, choking.
I got up and went to the phone.
And you dialed for professional help, I assume.
No, I forgot the number for the paramedics. So I went back and watched my soap.
Do you mean to tell me, Mrs. Battenbold, that you forgot 911, the 3 digits which can fetch the necessary service for any person in need?
Well, I remembered it when my soap opera, The Young and the Interesting, was almost over.
Please, give us the specifics of this spectacle as you witnessed it.
Bobby showed up at Alice's apartment claiming to be her long-lost twin who died in the last episode. Mary went into shock when Rex showed her.
I'm referring to the spectacle of your son's tracheal blockage, though we may have time to recite the events of your soap opera after the show.
Sure. So anyway, I went to the phone.
Now, Mrs. Battenbold, I think at this point in your inspirational story, you should let our listeners know every exact detail.
I picked up the receiver, and I dialed a 9, and then a 1, and then another 1. I glanced at the wallpaper in the kitchen, which is this peach design covered with little leaves and rose petals. The carpet I was standing on was this green nightmare that my husband picked up at some garage sale. God knows why.
I'm sure our listeners would forgive you if you left out some of the details unnecessary to the telling of your personal tale of decision when combating adversity.
Well, eventually I got a hold of the paramedics, and within no time they were at my house.
I see. And brave little Timmy narrowly escaped the dark journey to that sandbox in the sky.
Oh, he was fine. I thought he'd been choking while he was playing with his cars, but he was just making the sound of an engine that won't start.
Thank you for talking with us, Mrs. Battenbold. You've done more than instruct us on safety procedures in the home, necessary or not. You've inspired us to aspire towards the inspirational. Until next week, this is Burke Salafanger saying, when faced with danger, keep a cool head, and you just might get on this show.
The following is a message from Joint Chief of Staff Chuck Grangle.
These days, America faces a dark enemy. Literacy can be found anywhere, in cities and in the suburbs, crossing all class divisions. Valiant efforts have been made by local groups to stop illiteracy, but these have been mere drops in the bucket. So President Bush, at the request of his wife, has ordered the armed forces to tackle this serious dilemma. We, the leaders of the national defense, have initiated a full mobilized assault against illiteracy. First, we will send in 3 squadrons of F-14s to locate and bomb illiteracy strongholds. Close on our heels, our land forces will move in, demolishing anything that is left standing and gunning down anyone who begs for mercy. Following the frontal strike, efforts will be made to round up all fugitive illiterates and give them a fair trial before sending them off to the chair. We are confident that the American people stand behind us, and with your help in this melee, we will eliminate this proud nation's illiteracy problem.
For more information.
Quick, man! Illiterate at 5 o'clock!
Ouch!
This man is a dentist. We can't show you his face on radio, but we can show you what toothbrush he uses.
Hey, wait a minute. I'm not a dentist. I'm just using mouthwash. The guy you want is over there.
Oh, sorry. This man is a dentist. Morning, Ralph.
Hi there.
Which raises the question, what brand of toothbrush do most dentists use?
And gee, I'm the only dentist I know.
But your name's Ralph.
No, Dennis. You know, this man is a dentist.
So you're probably not...
Name's Dennis
real-
Jimenez. I do landscaping.
Let's move on. This man is a dentist.
This man is a woman, you sexist toothbrusher.
The script clearly states that we...
Announcer not follow advice of Wisdom Tooth. Never make toothbrusher gender specific.
Do you mind? We're not finished here. This man is a dentist, right?
Yes, sir.
And we can't show you his face, but we can show you his toothbrush.
Oh, sure.
Okay, Ralph, show us.
Excuse me, are you a dentist?
Well, yes, I am.
I've got this feeling that's really bugging me. Do you have time to...
Oh, sure. Sit down.
Ralph?
I'm sorry. You'll have to come back. This is going to take a while.
All right, you, get over here.
Huh? Me?
I know you're not a dentist, and I don't care about your face, but can you hold up this toothbrush like you just used it?
Yeah, okay. How's this?
Perfect. Now, read the handle.
Oral D.
Oral D. The toothbrush he would be using if this man were a dentist.
Oh, you mean if this man was a dentist?
But you're not a dentist, right?
No, but I play one on TV.
You what?
Yeah, maybe you've seen my back. I do this ad.
All this time, and I've been... Is your name Ralph? I've been looking for you.
Welcome back to KPUT Sports, broadcasting to you the Iowa Northwestern baseball game at Iowa Field. We now go to our sports announcers, Frosted Winchell and Tannard Kranzelprantz.
The weather remains lovely, and crowds all around us are nervous with anticipation.
And we assume the same is true at Iowa Field.
But we wouldn't know.
Because we're not there.
We're here at the corner of 7th and Muscatine, where a crowd is gathered alongside the curb to watch the stoplight change.
Everyone is showing intense concentration as they await the signal to spring into blinding action.
You know, Tanner, it's clear to me that we're watching people who have really trained for this, that came into it knowing what to expect, and are going to get through it with pride.
And the light has now changed. The walk sign is now on.
This is classic Grace and form that we're seeing here as these people slowly make their way across the street.
This is truly one of the best moments I've ever seen as a sportscaster. I can't imagine any event that could top this.
Well, maybe baseball.
All these new faces knowing where they want to go and getting there, to me, reaffirms the untouchable purity of American sports today.
I suppose.
I'm swept away. This is raw, unleashed excitement.
Not really.
But
though.
it could be.
But it isn't.
No, I guess you're right.
Well,
We'll be back with Tannard and Frosted after a pit stop with Brack Tungsten and this really big planet of sports.
Brack Tungsten here for another look at this really big planet of sports. Today we turn our gaze from the professional leagues and instead probe into the fitness activities of our nation's youth. With me today at the Hearts and Flowers Daycare Center is the Physical Activities Coordinator, Bromilton Heath.
Hiya, Brack.
Now, Bromilton, would you please tell us about the state of physical education at the Hearts and Flowers Daycare Center when you arrived here 3 years ago?
I think the word that describes it best is appalling. When I saw these kids running around the playground, they showed no form, no strategy, and nap time lasted all of an hour. Well, I saw my work clearly before me. I had to whip these youngsters into shape.
Could you tell us of your initial attempts to introduce these 4- and 5-year-olds to the rigorous world of physical perfection?
Well, I first thought some Olympiad sports would be a good starting place.
But I can see from your strained, anguished expression that this plan didn't work.
It was the shot put event. Even the strongest kids can only get the shot a few feet up in the air. and then all 8 pounds of it would come right back down on their heads.
I take it you dropped that as soon as you could and went on to something else.
No, it was about 4 or 5 kids later I decided to switch to the javelin. As I'm sure you'll understand, that event failed miserably.
I can use my imagination.
We tried a whole range of sports. Rugby, sumo wrestling, kickboxing, figure skating, until we finally arrived at something that worked. Polo.
I'm curious to know how you adapted the complex technical aspects of the game so that children just out of infancy could manage it.
Well, for one thing, I'll let the kids use croquet mallets instead of the standard polo sticks.
What did you do in terms of horses?
Now, this is where our program is different. See, I couldn't find any ponies small enough, so I came up with this brilliant idea of dividing the kids in half. So half the kids are riders and the other half are their horses.
That certainly is innovative, sir.
And gives everyone a chance to play.
But don't the children object to being the other children's mounts?
Why should they object? Would you like to talk with them?
If I could.
No, I'm going to keep them over here.
In those stables?
Where would you keep your polo ponies?
I would suppose some children would find it uncomfortable to be relegated to a stable.
You'd think so. But as long as we give them 3 feed bags a day and muck out their stables every morning, they seem happy.
Now, on the floor of this stall, I see a little boy. What's his name?
His name's Nicky Stevens, but we call him Thunderclap.
Nay.
Good boy. He's more for endurance than for speed.
And he doesn't give you any trouble about being kept naked in a stall.
Well, to tell you the truth, he is a wild one. We've had some trouble with him. Just last week, he trampled a stable hand.
Really?
You have to be careful around these animals. They can smell fear.
Nay.
I think he'll calm down after we have him gelded. Now, over here, we have another one of our prize mounts.
Oh my God, I don't know if I should be looking at this.
She's a champion filly. Name's Emma Thomas, but here she's Snowflake.
I think this place would conform better to daycare standards if she was wearing something.
Well, she'll look better when her coat comes in. Still kind of sparse right now. We've already bred her twice, and we're expecting great things from her foals.
Now, Mr. Heath, what kind of future do you see for your program?
Well, after these kids have grown a bit, gained some experience, I'd like to enter some of them in the Kentucky Derby. I mean, after all, that's what a daycare center is all about. Giving kids a future.
I certainly wish you luck, sir, but I think the best future you can expect is making parole. Until next week, for Really Big Planet of Sports, I'm Brack Tungsten. We return you now to the game.
Hello, I'm Darrell Buchanugan, president of Cottonette Manufacturing Company Limited of America Incorporated. Did you know that in some countries, people don't eat with their left hands? And it's not just because they're right-handed. Of course, many of these people don't eat with their right hands either. But do you know why they don't eat with their left hands? It's because their countries don't have toilet paper. And did you know that in the Soviet Union, they use toilet paper that's more like the paper we use for grocery bags? That is, when they can get toilet paper. I suppose they don't really need to make grocery bags anyway. Even the French don't have decent toilet paper. After they're done wiping, they have to sit in a sink and hose their butts off. That's why I'm proud to live in America, where the people are red-blooded, white-stomached, and blue-haired. And especially proud to be able to use and produce quality Cottonette toilet paper. At Cottonette, our motto is, Americans won't take crap, so we will.
Hello, I'm Darren Buchanugan, no relation, and I'm in charge of research and development here at Cottonette Manufacturing. In R&D, we create and experiment with new and better kinds of toilet paper, or TP as we call it. But at Cottonette R&D, we always go one step further. E.g., you may have seen other brands in your store which claim to be 100% recycled. Well, at Cottonette, we're even more environmentally conscious. We've created a TP which is really 100% recycled. Recycled used toilet paper, that is. And you may have also seen other brands which contain lotions for softness. Once again, we go the extra mile and have even created TP with ointments for rashes and hemorrhoids. We're even experimenting with something new called hypoallergenic toilet paper, i.e. no dyes, perfumes, or lotions, just 100% natural TP. At Cottonette, our motto is, when you have a BM, stick us in your A.
Hello, I'm Inspector 37, one of the many people who personally test each and every roll of Cottonette toilet paper. In our testing labs, we make sure that every roll of Cottonette has just the right amount of softness with the most durability. First, each roll is tested for softness by stuffing it into the clothing of children who then undergo a rigorous battery of tests, and I do mean battery. Next, we test each roll for durability by using trained laboratory monkeys with butts even hairier than our own. Afterwards, the rolls are packaged and then squeezed by housewives and storekeepers with toilet paper fetishes. And then, finally, it comes to me, Inspector 37. Now to me, this toilet paper says Continent, and so I say it says Continent. It doesn't say Continent until I say it says Continent, and I don't say it says Continent until it says Continent to me. At Continent, our motto is, quality is job one, especially when it's for number 2.
Hello, I'm Steve, 37, no relation, and I'm one of the hundreds of people and dozens of Steves who are proud to make Continent toilet paper. And one of the thousands who simply make Continent toilet paper. I'm proud because I work for a company where I'm not just a number, I'm a name and a number. And I'm proud because I live and work in a free country and free market where everything costs. And where every one of us is able to live and work hard to earn money. To live, to work hard, to earn money, to live on and on until we die. And where every one of us works together to compete against each other for business and promotions. At Continent, our motto is, we're wiping up the competition.
Look for the union label when you are buying a roll of TP. Always remember our union workers who are not shirkers or work for free. They do their jobs and get paid for making TP. They do have taxes, bills, and union dues to pay. So always look for the union label. It says we're able to make it better in your way.
And now a public service message from Garol Gumbers, President and General Manager of the Eclectic Electric and Power Supply Company.
Ladies and gentlemen, our proud nation now stands at the brink of what could be a devastating energy crisis. With oil prices rising and sources of electrical power running down, we at Eclectic Electric have been searching for alternative energy sources just like we've done for the last 18 years. But it's all been a huge waste of time and money, so we've thrown in the towel and come up with a better idea. We, the people at Eclectic Power, are proposing that at least 80% of all Americans poke their eyes out. Now, this may sound like an extreme suggestion at first, but look at the whole scale advantages. With no eyes, Americans have no need for costly electric lights and lamps. And blind people aren't allowed to drive, so gasoline consumption would rapidly drop off. Not to mention traffic jams and road congestion, which would also vanish. So, give it some thought. Then, tear out your eyes. Thank you.
We're back again with KPUT Sports, coming at you today with on-the-spot coverage of the Iowa Northwestern baseball game. Let's go now to our 2 live-at-the-scene reporters, who are hopefully closer to Iowa Field by now.
Well, once again, Wendy, we are not exactly at Iowa Field.
Well, that doesn't mean we can't bring you the best in sports coverage.
Because we've stumbled upon one of the most exciting events in Iowa City.
It's a Sunday evening mass.
And the tension is as thick as incense in the air. The priest is coming out now, looking fit and confident.
You know, Tanner, I heard a lot of people were worried that his hip injury last season would keep him out today. But you can't keep down a seasoned veteran.
I take as my text the book of Mark, chapter 26.
Oh, did you hear that? The book of Mark. That's certainly a surprise coming this early on in the service.
But the crowd is taking it well. They've seen this guy before, they know his moves.
And they're jumping to their feet now and rushing to the front for the refreshments.
I'd like to point out that the priest is one heck of a guy, not charging a cent for the wine and crackers he's dishing out.
Well, that's Catholicism for you, Tanner. One of the more professional groups in this league.
Let's talk to one of the crowd now. You, sir, would you mind giving your opinions of tonight's service?
I think it's going well. The priest looked like he was going down for a moment, but he hung in there and pulled through.
And what about your own performance, sir?
Well, I've trained hard and I can see it paying off, but I wasn't expecting the paternoster just after the doxology. That threw me a little bit, but I caught him and came back with a hymn that's going to make the scouts remember me.
Do you have any words for our young hopefuls out there who might have been inspired by what they saw here tonight?
Yeah, I do. Now, I didn't start here at the top. I worked my way up, and to all you kids out there, you might want to start with something a little bit more easy, like Protestantism or Unitarianism. Then work your way up to the Baptists, maybe train a little bit with the Episcopalians if you want some pointers before you run with the big dogs. The Catholics.
Well, thank you for that memorable testimony, sir. By the way, do you know how to get to the Iowa Field? Hello, my name is Dr. Jeff Neighbors, and I'll be conducting your psychological exam this morning. I will present a series of tests designed specifically to determine your psychological makeup and suitability for the job. Are you familiar with the standard battery of tests, Mr. Redinas?
For the most part.
Very well. Let's begin. Look at this and tell me what you see.
A butterfly.
I'm sorry, that's incorrect. It is, in fact, an ink blot. I would have also accepted Rorschach test. Now, on to word association.
Now?
Later.
Oh.
K.
What?
Where?
Pardon?
Nixon.
Excuse me, is this part of the exam?
Oh, are you stopping already? One moment, please. Stopped after 4 words.
Shouldn't I respond to your words and not the other way around?
Very well, we'll do it your way. White.
Black.
I'm sorry, the correct answer is weft. I would have also accepted Wong. Let's try it again. Wong.
White?
I'm sorry, this time the correct answer is shote. My, you're not very good at this.
Well, I didn't know we were supposed to be talking like Elmer Fudd. Can we please just do this in a normal voice?
Oh, whatever you say, Dr. Redinas. Sphexophobia.
Sphexophobia?
Oh, one moment, please. Suffers from echolalia.
Echolalia? What's echolalia?
That means you simply repeat what you hear.
I don't have echolalia. I just don't know what sphexophobia means.
Oh, I thought you knew everything there was to know about psychology.
Can we just do this using ordinary words, please?
Very well. Wasp.
Ah!
Suffers from logophobia.
Logophobia?
The fear of words.
I wasn't scared by the word wasp. I was scared because I thought you meant there was a wasp by me.
Suffers from severe sphexophobia.
Look, I've had enough of this. I don't want your... Wait, is this all part of the exam? Are you just trying to see how crazy you can make me?
Also suffers from profound delusions and paranoia.
Oh, yeah? Well, let's try a little sentence completion test. I'll begin.
The what?
I'm sorry, that's incorrect. The correct answer is, the psychologist is a psychotic. You also suffer from Peter Pan syndrome, Cinderella complex, and Bambi disorder. And I'm going to report you to the APA.
Well done. You're perfect for the job.
What?
You're perfect for the job.
Are you serious?
Absolutely. This was all just a test. You've proven yourself to be the best person for the position.
So when do I start?
Whenever my position becomes available. Unfortunately, you're perfect for my job, and that's already filled. We have no other jobs for which you are suited.
Is that right? Well, when I'm through with you, your position will be open.
Excellent. That was still part of the exam. You do have the job.
I don't believe you.
No, I'm serious. Report to personnel at 9 o'clock tomorrow.
This is still part of the test, isn't it?
No, the test is over, Mr. Redinas. You did very well, though. You have the job.
Ha! This is still part of the test, isn't it? Well, I'm going to continue to say ha to you and your job offer until the test is over and you say it isn't.
Very well then, Mr. Redinas. The test isn't over. You have the job.
I'm not crazy enough to believe you, and you're not going to make me crazy. I'm going to prove to you that I'm the best person for this job by not accepting your offer. I'm going to walk out that door and never come back, and then you'll hire me.
Tasha, please send in the next applicant.
Separately, they've each sold more records than Elvis and the Beatles combined. Together, they've sold more than Slim Whitman and Boxcar Willie combined. They are Slim Whitman, Boxcar Willie, and Zamfir, together for the first time ever.
Yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away. Now it looks as though they're here to stay. Oh, I believe in yesterday.
Yes, the master of the pan flute, the singing oboe, and the skinny yodeler have joined at last to bring you a collection of the world's most loved love songs.
I took the good times. I'll take the bad times. I'll take you just the way you are.
You also get Love Will Keep Us Together, Feelings, The Way We Were, You're Having My Baby, Muskrat Love, You Don't Bring Me Flowers, and Endless Love.
And your eyes, they tell me how much you care. Oh, yes, you will always be my endless love.
More popular now than Crosby, Stills, and Nash. Seen on TV commercials more often than the damn Yankees. On the whole, better singers than the Traveling Wilburys.
The chariots of fire are leaving today.
us away.
This collection contains almost all of the love songs most lovers love most of all. Slim Whitman, Boxcar Willie, and Zamfir, the world's most loved love songs. To order, simply call toll-free 1-800-555-ZAMP. Please specify LP, 8-track, or 78 RPM. That's 1-800-555-ZAMP. 1-800-555-ZAMP.
We've just received word that Tannard Kranzel-Prance and Frosted Winchell have made it to Iowa Field, where we'll be getting play-by-play action. How's it look, guys?
The place is packed, Wendy.
People can hardly move.
But they're all trying to.
They're trying to drive home.
The game is over.
But I have no doubt that what we didn't see here tonight was one of the greatest games in college baseball history.
I'm sure it was an unbelievable show of grace and determination.
A hard-fought match where strength and intelligence prevailed.
We assume.
It probably was.
In fact, let's ask someone now about the final score.
You, sir, could you please tell us the final score of the baseball game played with poetic finesse here today?
Well, I had to walk out kind of early because I had to start directing traffic.
Amazing. Do you recall any highlights of this Titanic game?
Well, no, I was just hanging around the beer tent for most of the game.
Are there any additional comments you'd like to make?
Yeah, why don't you guys take these orange flags and help me guide these people out of here? I'm so smashed, I can't tell my ass from Abe Lincoln.
I can't speak for my co-announcer, folks, but I am bursting with excitement as we take a tangible part in this game.
In this post-game?
Well, it's not really a post-game. We're directing traffic, but I can almost sink my teeth into the visceral jubilation here tonight.
And bringing you the action from the street, I can see a swerving driver approaching us now.
Someone's had too much fun tonight, and they're headed straight for us in a half a ton of steel and iron.
But it's taking a turn for the better into a tree. Incredible!
Yes, however, the action isn't over yet. The station wagon that truck cut off is flipping up into the air and colliding into the ground mere inches from where I'm standing.
Causing a small compact car to swing around.
Into a small pickup truck which has now launched itself through the window of a station wagon. And there it goes.
There you have it, the results of the Iowa Northwestern baseball game. 14 major injuries and 4 fatalities. We'll be bringing you an update later tonight on this station. Until the next game, this is Wendy Dridgel saying, too much sports is a good thing.
KPUT was produced by Hector DeJean, Glenn Keenan, and Stephen Schultz. Special thanks to Brian McDermott, Julie Plotz, Barb Spanders, Michelle Soner, and me, Dave Kenty. Thanks, Dave. Anyone who wishes to obtain a copy of tonight's show should have thought of that earlier and recorded it. You can try to tune in again next week and recording our show then, but we won't be on. So tune in again 2 weeks from now for another episode of KPUT.